Some of the best games ever made sold less than 1 million copies at launch. We're talking critically acclaimed masterpieces, high 80s, low 90s on Metacritic, Game of the Year nominations, perfect scores from major outlets. And they bombed so hard that studios shut down, franchises died, and developers had to completely pivot just to survive. The gaming industry has a dirty secret. Commercial success has almost nothing to do with quality. Marketing budget, release timing, publisher politics, that's what determines if a game sells. And because of that, some of the most innovative, polished, straight-up brilliant games ever made got buried while generic cash grabs made millions. Today we're covering 10 games that failed commercially but are actually masterpieces. Games where the people who found them can't shut up about how good they are, but that most people never played because the industry failed them. If you're tired of playing it safe with whatever's trending and want to know what you've been missing, hit that like button and let's dive in. Starting at number 10, Dishonored 2. Arcane Studios dropped this in November 2016, improving on the first game in every way. You can play as Emily Kaldwin or Corvo Attano with completely different power sets. Emily has domino linking, void tentacles, and shadow walk. Corvo has the classic blink, possession, and time stop. It's basically 2 games in one. The level design is insane. The Clockwork Mansion has rooms that shift and reconfigure around you. A crack in the slab lets you jump between past and present to solve puzzles. These aren't gimmicks. They're fully realized concepts most games would build entire campaigns around. Critics loved it, 86 to 88 on Metacritic, praised as immersive sim perfection. But launch sales were down 38% from the first game. It cost more than Skyrim to make and couldn't crack 1 million sales in its first month. The PC version had terrible performance issues at launch, Bethesda barely marketed it, and it released alongside Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. The failure almost cost Arcane their future with Bethesda. We're probably never getting Dishonored 3 because this masterpiece didn't make enough money. Number 9 is Titanfall 2, and this is the easiest touchdown fumble in gaming history. Respawn Entertainment dropped this in October 2016 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC with some of the smoothest FPS gameplay ever created. The movement is cracked. Wall running, double jumping, sliding, grappling. You feel like a parkour god. Then you call in your Titan and everything changes. But the campaign is what separates this. 6 hours of perfection with level design that FPS developers still study. The Effect and Cause mission, where you shift between time periods, is legendary. And BT-7274 is one of the best characters in gaming. The multiplayer was equally incredible. Fast, balanced, rewarding skill while being accessible. Critics gave it an 89 on Metacritic with perfect scores from multiple outlets. So why did it fail? EA released it 1 week after Battlefield 1 and 1 week before Call of Duty. Infinite Warfare. They sent their own game to die. First week sales hit 5 million across all platforms, but Battlefield did 13 million, and Call of Duty did Call of Duty numbers. Titanfall 2 got buried. The campaign alone is worth the price. It's dirt cheap now on every platform. Play it. At number 8, Psychonauts. Tim Schafer and Double Fine created one of the most creative platformers ever made in 2005 for Xbox and PS2. You play as Raz at a psychic summer camp, and the entire game takes place inside people's minds. Every level is a unique psychological landscape. One brain is a conspiracy theorist cardboard suburb with a milkman obsession. Another is a wrestler with Napoleon complex fighting in a giant ring. The creativity is off the charts, and the writing is genuinely funny while dealing with trauma and mental illness with real empathy. Critics loved it, 88 on Metacritic. Multiple Game of the Year nominations. It failed to sell 100,000 retail units at launch. The game cost millions and couldn't crack 6 figures. Majesco Entertainment, the publisher, almost went under. The weird art style, zero marketing, and crowded market killed it. But word of mouth slowly built a massive cult following. When Double Fine crowdfunded Psychonauts 2 in 2015, it became one of the most successful campaigns ever. And when Psychonauts 2 dropped in 2021, it got the success the franchise always deserved. Quality always finds a way. Number 7 is Beyond Good and Evil. Michel Ancel directed this for Ubisoft Montpellier in 2003 on PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and PC. You play as Jade, a freelance photographer uncovering a government conspiracy on Planet Hillies. The story deals with journalism, corruption, and fighting for truth. Bold themes for 2003. The gameplay mixed action-adventure, stealth, photography mechanics, and hovercraft racing. Jade was a normal, tough, compassionate woman in an era of space marines and edgy anime characters. The art direction blended sci-fi and Caribbean aesthetics gorgeously, and the soundtrack is legitimately one of gaming's best. Critics praised its originality and ambition with awards and Game of the Year nominations. It sold less than 500,000 copies worldwide at launch. Non-existent marketing and releasing the same month as Prince of Persia. The Sands of Time killed it. Ubisoft sacrificed Beyond Good and Evil to push Prince of Persia. It eventually found a cult following and got an HD remaster. Fans have been begging for a sequel for 2 decades. Ubisoft announced Beyond Good and Evil 2 in 2008, and we're still waiting. At number 6, Prey from 2017. Arcane Studios created one of the best immersive sims ever made, and almost nobody played it. This has nothing to do with the 2006 Prey. Bethesda just bought the name, which confused everyone. You play as Morgan Yu on Talos 1, a space station overrun by the Typhon. Aliens that can mimic anything. Coffee cups, chairs, people. The station is a massive, interconnected Art Deco masterpiece where every room tells a story. There's no hand-holding, no waypoint spam. The game treats you like an adult. The gameplay is pure immersive sim. Combat, stealth, hacking, environmental creativity, all viable. The Typhon powers let you mimic objects yourself, turn into a coffee cup and roll through a tiny gap. The possibilities are wild. The story deals with transhumanism, with multiple endings based on your choices. Critics loved it. Mid-80s on Metacritic, called System Shock 3 in all but name. Bethesda barely marketed it. The name confused people. It released alongside Injustice 2 and Persona 5, and the demo had game-breaking bugs. First-month sales were under 1 million. Disaster numbers for a AAA game. It found an audience through word of mouth and sales. If you love BioShock or Dishonored, Prey is essential. Number 5 is Spec Ops: The Line. Warning, this is not a fun game. It's not supposed to be. Jaeger Development created this for 2K in 2012 on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC as a deliberate deconstruction of military shooters. From the outside, it looks generic. Cover-based shooting, modern military, squad commands. The marketing sold it that way. But it's a retelling of Heart of Darkness set in sandstorm-devastated Dubai. You play as Captain Martin Walker finding Colonel Conrad, and the game starts messing with you. Loading screens shift from generic military quotes to, "Do you feel like a hero yet?" And, "This is all your fault." There's a moment where you use white phosphorus on enemies, and the game makes it feel tactical and cool. Then it forces you to walk through the aftermath and see what you actually did. The game makes you complicit. The only way to win is to stop playing, but you won't because you want to finish. Which is exactly Walker's justification as he descends into madness. Critics were divided. 76 on Metacritic. Some praised its ambition, others hated being criticized. It sold less than 150,000 copies in its first month. 2K didn't know how to market a military shooter that hates military shooters. Over time, it became required reading for anyone interested in games as art. It's studied in game design courses. It's heavy, dark, and deliberately not fun, but it's important. Number 4 is Vanquish. Platinum Games and Shinji Mikami created the most stylish third-person shooter ever in 2010 for PS3 and Xbox 360, and nobody bought it. You play as Sam Gideon in an augmented reaction suit that lets you slide around battlefields at ridiculous speeds and slow down time. Take Gears of War's cover shooting, remove all the weight, and inject pure adrenaline. The boost slide is one of the best movement systems ever. You're constantly sliding into cover, behind enemies, through their legs while blasting them. The game throws massive robots and waves of enemies at you with tools to handle it if you're skilled enough. The white and red aesthetic is gorgeous. The story is ridiculous. Russian ultra-nationalists hijack a space station and embraces it. The soundtrack pumps. The boss fights are spectacular. Everything screams Platinum Games quality. Critics liked it, 84 on Metacritic, but dinged it for being 5 to 6 hours long. That's perfect for replayability, but felt negative in 2010. Sales were brutal, less than 1 million worldwide. It released alongside Fallout, New Vegas, and Medal of Honor with minimal marketing. The cover art is just a guy in a suit. Western audiences didn't understand the Japanese arcade sensibilities. Short length, score focus, style over substance. We never got a sequel. It got a PC port in 2017 and a PS4 and Xbox One remaster. If you've never played it, it's short, cheap, and one of the best action games ever made. At number 3, Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem. Silicon Knights made this GameCube exclusive in 2002, and it did things horror games still haven't replicated over 20 years later. You play as multiple characters across different time periods. Ancient Rome, the Crusades, France, World War I, modern day, connected by the Tome of Eternal Darkness. You're fighting the ancients, Lovecraftian entities that want to destroy humanity. Each character has different weapons and magic based on their era. The sanity meter is revolutionary. As it drops, the game messes with you. Camera angles warp, enemies that aren't real appear, doors disappear. Then it breaks the fourth wall. Your TV volume mutes, except it's fake. A delete all save files prompt appears. Your controller disconnection screen pops up. The screen goes black with "to be continued" mid-gameplay. These sanity effects were genius. No game had deliberately messed with players like this. The magic system was deep, the story was well written, dealing with existential dread, and the voice acting was excellent. Critics loved it. 92 on Metacritic, multiple Game of the Year awards. It sold around 430,000 copies, lifetime on the best-selling console of the generation. Catastrophic. It was a mature horror game on a family-focused console during the GameCube's struggles. Silicon Knights went bankrupt after Too Human. We never got a sequel. But Eternal Darkness's legacy is huge. Every horror game that messes with player perception owes something to what this pioneered. You can only play it on GameCube or Wii, and physical copies are expensive now. Number 2 is Mirror's Edge. EA DICE created one of the most unique first-person games ever made in 2008, and the industry shrugged. DICE, known for Battlefield, made a first-person parkour game with clean, minimalist aesthetics. You play as Faith Connors, a runner in a dystopian city where information is transmitted by parkour couriers. The first-person parkour was revolutionary. Wall running, vaulting, sliding, chaining moves to maintain momentum. When you nail a sequence perfectly, nothing feels like it. The art direction was genius. Clean, white, bright. The opposite of every other dystopian game. Red objects guide you without cluttering the UI. Solarfield's soundtrack shifts between ambient and intense perfectly. The story dealt with surveillance states and authoritarianism, prescient for 2008. DICE discouraged combat. You're a courier, not a soldier. Your power is movement. The time trials and speed runs created incredible replayability. Speedrunners are still finding new tech today. Critics were mixed, 79 to 81 on Metacritic. Some loved the innovation, others complained about combat sections and difficulty. Mixed reviews gave consumers pause. EA didn't know how to market a first-person parkour game to an audience that wanted shooters. Sales were disappointing. Around 2 to 3 million copies, below EA's expectations. EA put the franchise on ice for years. The tragedy? Mirror's Edge influenced everything. Dying Light, Assassin's Creed, Titanfall, Ghost Runner, even Call of Duty added parkour. The original didn't get the success it deserved. We got Mirror's Edge Catalyst in 2016, but it didn't sell well either. The franchise is dormant, which is criminal. The original is available everywhere cheap, looks timeless, and feels better than most parkour games made since. At number 1, The Evil Within 2. Tango Gameworks and Shinji Mikami created one of the best survival horror games ever made in 2017, and the market completely ignored it. The Evil Within from 2014 was divisive. Janky, weird aspect ratio, confusing story. But Tango listened. The Evil Within 2 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC fixed everything. The jankiness, gone. The confusion, clarified. What worked, enhanced. This is survival horror perfection. You play as Sebastian Castellanos searching for his daughter Lily inside STEM in the town of Union. Unlike the linear first game, Union is semi-open world. You can explore, find resources, complete side missions, approach objectives however you want. Full stealth, run and gun if you have ammo, or get creative with traps. The survival horror is top tier. Resources are scarce, every bullet counts, enemies are threatening. The crafting system creates risk-reward decisions about exploring dangerous areas. But the emotional core, a father searching for his daughter, grounds the nightmare imagery and keeps you invested. The horror imagery is brutal. Stefano creates art by murdering people and posing corpses as sculptures. Theodore is a cult leader who psychologically tortures people. The monster designs are creative and disturbing. The graphics are gorgeous. The performances are great. The soundtrack is perfect. The shooting feels good. Stealth is viable. The upgrade system gives meaningful choices. Critics loved it, 76 to 82 on Metacritic, praising how it improved everything and created one of the best survival horror experiences in years. It sold less than 500,000 copies at launch. Massive commercial failure. Bethesda barely marketed it. What marketing existed was poor. It released in October 2017 alongside Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein 2, and before Call of Duty World War II. It got buried, plus the first game's mixed reception made people skeptical. The failure led to Bethesda abandoning survival horror. Tango had to pivot to Hi-Fi Rush. We'll never get The Evil Within 3. That's genuinely tragic. If you love survival horror, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Dead Space, Silent Hill 2, you must play The Evil Within 2. It's cheap, available everywhere, and a masterclass in horror game design. 10 games that absolutely failed commercially but are genuine masterpieces. From Dishonored 2's immersive sim perfection to The Evil Within 2's survival horror brilliance, these games prove that sales numbers don't reflect quality. The common thread? Innovation, risk-taking, vision. The market sometimes punishes vision because it's safer to buy what you know. But these games found their audiences eventually. They became cult classics. They influenced the entire industry even without the sales they deserved. The lesson? Sometimes the best games fail first and get discovered later. Don't sleep on games just because they didn't sell millions at launch. Some of the best gaming experiences are hidden in commercial failures. What games do you think belong on this list? What commercial failures are actually masterpieces? Drop your picks in the comments. If you haven't played any of these, pick one and give it a shot. I guarantee you'll find something special. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into gaming history and hidden gems, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the games that fail are the ones we remember forever.